Testament overview. Who wrote the Bible?
God.
How many books are in the Bible?
66.
How many in the Old Testament?
39.
How many in the New Testament?
27.
But it's, how many men penned the Bible?
40.
And how long did it take them?
Over 1,500 years.
And it's one book that's all about one man whose name is?
Yeshua.
In Genesis chapter 1, we learn about
Creation.
in Genesis chapter 2,
Special events of creation.
in Genesis chapter 3,
Temptation and fall of Adam and Eve.
in Genesis chapter 4,
Cain and Abel.
Genesis chapter 5,
Genealogy.
Genesis chapter 6, 7, and 8,
Noah and the flood.
Genesis chapter 9,
After the flood.
Genesis chapter 10,
Genealogy.
Genesis chapter 11,
The Tower of Babel.
Genesis chapter 12,
The Call of Abraham.
that's God's voice. Okay, we're going to be doing every chapter in the Old Testament, so no. All right. Abraham was born in where the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers flow into the
Persian Gulf.
God called Abraham and said, "Go into a
Land.
that I will.
Show you.
I will make you a
Great.
and mighty nation. I will make your name."
Great.
So Abraham
Packed his bags.
and came up around the
Fertile Crescent.
and settled in a town named
Haran.
which was
Haran.
4 people went on this trip, and we remember their names by the acronym.
Salt.
They were
Sarah, Abraham, Lot, and Terah.
Laura. Who was Terah?
Terah is Abraham's father.
They stayed in Haran for 30 years until Terah.
Died.
After Terah died, they went down into the
Land.
God had given them, but they had
Problem.
no
Children.
So Hagar had a son named,
Ishmael.
but Ishmael was
Not.
the son of promise. So Sarah had a son named,
Isaac.
and Isaac
Was.
the son of promise. Isaac had
2 sons.
Jacob and Esau. Esau was
Not.
the son of promise, and Jacob
Was.
the son of promise. Jacob had
12 sons.
and one.
Daughter.
The second to the youngest son's name was.
Joseph.
Now Joseph's brothers didn't like him very much, so they threw him in a,
Pit.
sold him into,
Bondage.
and sent him down to.
Egypt.
He lived there for 40 years until there was a
Famine.
in the land. Then the whole family moved to Egypt until Joseph
Died.
and Pharaoh.
Died.
Now a new Pharaoh came on the scene and took the people into
Bondage.
for 400 years. After 400 years, the people cried out to God and said, "God, get us out of this."
Mess.
So God sent a man named Moses to Pharaoh to say,
Let my people go.
you guys recognize God's voice? But Pharaoh said,
No.
so God did the,
10 plagues.
which we call the,
10 miracles.
and Pharaoh finally said,
Okay.
so Moses
Gathered the people.
and led them through the,
Red Sea.
and brought them up to
Mount Sinai.
where God gave them the,
10 commandments.
then Moses sent
12 spies.
into the promised.
Land.
They came back and said, it is a land of,
Milk.
and
Honey.
10 of the spies said, but there are
Giants.
in the land.
Don't go.
2 of the spies said,
Go.
the people voted.
No go.
So God said that they would wander in the wilderness for 40 years until everyone 20 years and older.
Died.
Then Moses
Died.
and God buried him on Mount.
Nebo.
A new leader came on the scene. His name was
General Joshua.
Joshua led the people through the
Jordan River.
and
Divided the land.
among the
12 tribes.
and after Joshua died there were 7 social economic and spiritual ups and downs under the
judges
for 400 years. Then the people cried out, God, give us a
king.
Like their crowns? They all have their own crowns. We remember the order of the kings because of the number of syllables in their name. The first king's name had one syllable. His name was
Saul.
The second king's name was
David.
The third king's name was
Solomon.
The Jews lived in a
United.
Kingdom under these three kings. After Solomon
Died.
the kingdom was
Divided.
there was 10 tribes in the
North.
and 2 tribes in the
South.
The name of the northern kingdom was
Israel.
and the name of the southern kingdom was
Judah.
586 years before Christ, the Babylonians destroyed the temple. Destroyed the
Temple.
stepping on their lines. And took Daniel and the Jews to Babylon as
Slaves.
after 70 years in captivity. Ezra, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, and 50,000 other Jews returned to Jerusalem to rebuild the
Wall.
rebuild their
Home.
rebuild the
Temple.
and restore communication with.
God.
Then there was 400 years of until a man appeared in the wilderness and said,
Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world.
and that is our Old Testament overview.